Peace, 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 power, love, and respect. How's everybody doing out there? All right, today is November the 4th, 2019, Indefinite Fast Day number 35 for me officially today. All right, the Alkaline Journey, Health and Healing. Remember the slogan, slow progression leads to sustained success. All right, so with that being said, today's topic we're going to get into today is protein, or where do I get my protein? All right, and I want to touch on this topic today based on a post that I just put up about the gorillas and it causing a little bit of a stir, in some of the groups and different things like that. So many people out there are, just misinformed. Of course, some people just believe they know it all, so on and so forth. But I just want to get into this and break all this whole thing down thoroughly to its smallest molecule, and also just speak some general information about the mindset and things like that towards these posts and towards this lifestyle in general, because so many of us, and I truly see it more and more from what Dr. Sebi said of how our people are sick. You got so many people within this lifestyle are entering into this lifestyle and still not thoroughly understanding what this is all about. All right, so we're just going to chop it up on this, so just bear with me as I break down this information. Hopefully y'all are edified by this. Hopefully it delivers you, an abundance of wealth of knowledge, and you can retain this and pass this on to others as well. All right, so protein. Where do we get it from? Or better yet, first and foremost, what is protein? What is protein? Now, you'll see from different sources, different places, they'll say different things. You'll say they have, generally you will see 20 amino acids which comprise of protein. Protein is considered, or what they say, protein is considered a chain of amino acids bonded together. All right, and they say that it's roughly 20 to 22 amino acids. All right, and I say roughly 20 to 22 because they say it's 2 amino acids that are hitting or that only come from protein or meat source substances. Okay, so that's why I said, the 20 to 22. But generally, you will see they say 20 or 21. Now with those protein sources, or with those amino acid chains within the structure of amino acids, you have what's considered non-essential and you have what's considered essential. The non-essential amino acids the body already produces from other molecules within the body. All right. The essential amino acids are amino acids in which the body does not produce. Therefore, it has to obtain these from an outside source, i.e., your food, your fruit, your leafy greens, your beans, your quinoa, your amaranth, things like that. All right. So, knowing that some amino acids are essential that we have to get from outside substances, and some amino acids are essential in which the body already produces, what's the best, or which amino acids do I need, or how am I going to get this, how am I going to get that? Don't worry about all of that. Don't worry about it, all that. We're in the alkaline lifestyle to where we live our life according to the abundance of the nutrients that we get from our sources of food. Remember, Dr. Sebi chose for us the least detrimental foods that could be harmful to the body, or the ones that are alkaline or nearly alkaline in nature. These are some of the best foods that we can possibly have to nourish and sustain our everyday lives. Hence why you have people leaving from the meat, the dairy sources and things like that, entering into the alkaline lifestyle. They're noticing better skin results, they can breathe better, they're losing the weight, they feel better overall. So this food in which we're eating is giving us life and all the essential things in which we already need. Now, with that being said, right, what one food source on earth can anyone tell me? I give you $1 million if you can tell me this. I ain't even got $1 million. I'm joking. I'm lying. Forgive me. I give you $100. I ain't got that to spare, but I give you $100 if you can tell me. If you can, after the video, pause this question, and if you think you got the answer, then tell me. If you can tell me what food substance can we obtain on Earth, the whole wide world Earth, that has all 20 amino acids or all 22 amino acids, the whole branch of proteins? Can you tell me one food source substance that has everything? Press pause on the video and I'll wait. I don't think you're going to find an answer to that. Why is that? Because it doesn't exist. So based upon that, does protein exist or is protein a myth? As Dr. Sebi taught us, protein is a myth. All protein is amino acids. That's all we have to worry about, amino acids. But what? We're mainly concerned with the minerals that correspond to various parts of the body. As we know, the bones comprise of what? Calcium. We know that male and females' reproductive organs, the mineral that corresponds with that is what? Zinc. All right? We know the brain, carbon and copper. Okay? So we focus on the minerals. We're not focusing on protein sources. We're not focusing on the amino acid source substances. All right? That should never be the main focus. Now, if you're a bodybuilder or something like that, of course you will want to lean towards the heavier food to get more nutrition and more calories. Because remember, calories equals units of energy. So when we're talking calories, all we're talking about is units of energy. So don't look at them as calories in a fat sense. When you look at the word calories, look at it as units of energy, because that's what calories represents. Hence, man's main food source substance and the main way we process everything is through what? Carbs. The body breaks down everything into carbohydrates, or your calories, which equals units of energy that the body can use to maintain, sustain, and do their various activities throughout the day. So that's how you need to properly be looking at things. Now, with that being said, right, you can take quinoa. You can look it up. Do a research. I'm not going to give you everything. Do some Google research on your own. Look up quinoa. They will tell you that quinoa is a complete protein source. A complete protein source. Now you have other references that will say a complete protein source is if the substance has all essential amino acids that the body cannot produce. Well, wait. I thought it has 20 amino acids or 22 amino acids. So why is it only considered complete now if I just have the essential? Something doesn't add up there. Something doesn't add up. So why should you be focusing on all of that, right? Quinoa has amino acids. Every food that you have on this earth will have amino acids. Guess what? Fruits have amino acids, but it's not the amino acids that actually helps to build. It's the amino acids within the fruits, or the units of energy, or the calories within the fruits, that help to cleanse the body and to repair damage that is done. It doesn't help to build the body up on a muscular level, but it helps to rebuild and repair cellular damage. That's what the fruits do, and they help to keep the body clean overall. So when you go to the greens now, if you're worried about your protein, the greens are cleansers, but they're secondary cleansers opposed to the fruits. Fruits will always be the number one cleansers out of the food source substances, right? So with the greens are cleansers, or milder cleansers than the fruits, but the greens are cleansers and they're builders of muscular tissue. Muscular tissue and your skeletal tissue. That is what the greens is for, because the greens are full of life. It's full of the chlorophyll to help build up the blood, to help to build up the muscular tissue and different things like that. So when you're looking for lean muscle mass and to look muscular with that definition and everything that people desire to be looking like a model or bodybuilder or so on and so forth, it's the greens that you want to go to for that. You have your kale, you have your amaranth greens, you have your purslane, you have your dandelion greens. Those are our main sources of substance when you're looking to build that lean muscle. Now, when you're looking to bulk, rather, you're a bodybuilder, you're a football player, you're some type of athlete that need the extra carbs, you need the extra calories, the extra units of energy. Then you will go to what your heavier foods that are more complex in structure, that will have a heavier base chain of amino acids within it. But not one of these substances will have all 20 or so amino acids, not one of them. They will have every food source is structured according to how nature made it in its perfection. These are considered whole foods. Why? Not whole foods as man would want them to be, but they're whole foods as nature structured them to be. So if one plant has a high source of calcium, a high source of magnesium, a high source of zinc, a high source of phosphorus, but it may be low in other certain minerals, that's how nature wanted it to produce. That's how nature allowed it to produce, and nature made it perfect in its form in itself. So that is a complete source. So how is man going to tell me that this is not a complete source when nature tells me that it is? So protein should never be the focus at all. It is always going to be the minerals and the foods that go accordingly with each particular body parts, or that correspond to the different organs and that help to build up the body structure overall. You never mainly focus on heavy amino acids like that, because what do all those heavy structured amino acids do? They clog up the body. They agglomerate the body. They clog up your kidneys. Hence why a lot of bodybuilders, even though a lot of them do steroids, not all of them, you have natural bodybuilders. Hence why later on down the line, what do they start having? They start having kidney troubles, kidney failure. All right? Start needing dialysis or different things like that, because those heavier proteins, so to speak, or those heavier amino acid chain structures, those are what clog the kidneys. So that's why it is always recommended when you're detoxing, when you're fasting, you don't go for the heavier amino acid things. You go for the fruits, the berry, the more water soluble fruits that actually cleanse and nourish the body, that helps to repair the body of damage that has been done unto the body. All right. So if you're obviously a person that's trying to gain weight, you would go towards what your quinoa, your amaranth, your chickpeas, all right? And you can find complete sources, as they say, of these things within the whole food plant-based world. And quinoa is one of the main ones in which they consider a complete source, because it's wide array of complexity with the minerals, amino acids, vitamins, and different things like that it's structured with, okay? So that is truly not a factor. That is truly not a factor. Now, some people may say, well, when I stopped eating meat, I came down weight, I lost a lot of muscle mass. Well, that muscle was never yours to begin with, because that muscle mass in which you did have was pumped full of chemicals and steroids and different things like that they pumped into those animals. Now, when you ingest those things, you ingest not only those harmful substances from that animal, but any stress that animal may have died from, now you inherit that same level of stress, or the cortisol levels, the adrenaline levels that shot up within that animal as that animal was put to death. Those same high levels are going to enter into your body, contributing to your heart disease, your high blood pressure, your cancers, and different things like this. Now, a study was done during the 1900s with rats, and they tested out rats eating plant-based so-called protein comparison to meat-based so-called protein. And with the meat-based proteins, right, they found out that the rats grew a lot faster. Therefore, through that, the medical industry pushed meat based things out there, heavy unto the masses of the public, heavy, and it completely downplayed the plant-based substances. All right? But not recognizing that also with those meat-based substances, you're also increasing the risk of cancer, diabetes, all these other things at the same time. But with the plant sources, that is not the case whatsoever. With the plant sources is everything that's going to help and to heal the bodily structures. So what difference is it when you have the meat sources and the plant sources? With the meat sources, you may have the heavier complex amino acids, but what you don't have the fiber. Therefore, it takes naturally longer to digest. With the plant-based source substances, you have the amino acids and you have the fiber, which is a lot easier on the system to digest. This is why you will find different charts, you will find different answers when you look out there. But on average, depending on what type of meat it is, from poultry, your chicken, your fish, your beef, your pork. It will take anywhere from 8 to 72 hours for your body to digest something in your body that has a face. With plants, it doesn't take that long. With fruits, it doesn't take that long. The body can readily assimilate those. Why? Because those are the foods that we were initially meant to eat. We are initially a frugivorous type people, right? Slash herbivores, because we can eat the greens and things like that, but our body is well so more suited for the fruits. Now, when you look at, because I got a lot of people were saying, well, the gorillas, you can't compare us to gorillas. It's differences. It's this, it's that. What real differences? Now, when you break it down, right? Now, some people may say, well, a gorilla, he's a creature. Man is a creature as well. They may say, well, you can't compare an animal to a human being. Well, we're animals as well. What do I mean by that? Look up the word animal. Etymology online. Look up the word animal. The word animal comes from the word anima, which means soul. Animals have a soul. We have a soul. So are we animals as well? Yes. We're just a different species. We're a different creature. All right. So now, I just want to bring something out on the internet real quick, because people act like you don't bring out proof and different things like that. Or where's your citations? Or where's this? Where's that? I'm going to go right to the source, because you can pull up different information on Wikipedia, so on and so forth. But let's look at, right? You might, not going to be able to see it, but let's look at the World Wildlife Fund. All right. The worldwildlife.org. All right. So it's strictly from World Wildlife, right? What do gorillas eat and other gorilla facts? We're just going to get straight to the point. We're not going to make this too long. I'm going to get straight to the point. It says, what do gorillas eat? Now, some people say gorillas eat lizards, they eat this, they eat birds. I don't know where they get this from. Gorillas stick to a mainly vegetarian diet, right? Feeding on stems, bamboo shoots, fruits. Western lowland gorillas, however, also have an appetite for termites and ants and break open termite nests to eat their larvae. So they eat little insects or little bugs, but what mainly do they stick to? A vegetarian diet, a vegan diet. Okay? That's mainly predominantly what they stick to. Now, you may look at the height of a gorilla and say, well, a gorilla is this size because that's genetic structure. People are being too technical. People are being too technical. With the point was to get the point of it, not to make it so technical that you're trying to actually sit there and compare a gorilla with the human. Now, we can compare the two, right? Because now let's look a little further. What does it say? How closely related to gorillas are humans? Charismatic and intelligent animals, gorillas share 98.3% of their DNA with humans. They are our closest cousins after chimpanzees and bonobos. Now, in no way, shape, form, or fashion am I trying to say that we come from animals and anything like that. But when you look at the structure of all other animals on the planet compared to humans, there's no other animals compared to us that's closely related to us than as what was just described within that article. The chimpanzees, the bonobos, and the gorillas. All right. When you look at the teeth structure, a horse doesn't have teeth like us. An elephant doesn't really have teeth like us. Different animals, they don't have teeth like us. Who mainly has the same type of teeth in which we have? More so of the herbivores or the frugivorous creatures, and mainly what? The chimpanzees and the gorillas and things like that. When you look at the amount of stomachs that a horse have, or that a cow has, or that other animals have, who are we most closely related to? The gorillas. The way the teeth structure is says a lot. The way the teeth structure is says a lot. Yeah, we have the little canine teeth for occasionally having to meat and things like that, but rarely what ours are really rounded. Because we don't have to have the type of teeth that lions or tigers may have, because they are really chewing and gnawing, through meat source substances. Our teeth wasn't created like that. We're made for the much softer substances because we only have the one stomach. These other animals, they have various amounts of stomachs. So as far as comparing the two, we are closely related to them. So people cannot say that, oh, you can't compare us to this. It's a complete difference. It is a difference, but when you look at the general basis of it, we're damn near identical. All right, we're damn near identical, but a lot of people have to stop being so technical with these things and look at the bigger picture. When you try to be too technical at time, you lose sight of the overall picture and it clouds your whole judgment. And that is not healthy in life, period, when you do things like that. There's times where you be technical, and there's times when you have to be looking at the general overall picture of things. All right, and that's how we learn, and that's how we continue to grow. All right, so with that being said, protein, where do we get our protein? From our leafy greens, right, that I just explained. Our callaloo, our amaranth greens, right? our dandelion greens, our kale, our purslane. Where else do we get our amino acids from, or our protein from? Chickpeas, quinoa, fonio, teff, amaranth. Where else? Our walnuts, our sesame seeds, our hemp seeds, our dates. You know, we have an abundance, an array of foods to choose from that give us life. So why focus on the minute matters when we have life set right before us? That is the question that I would like to pose to a lot of people out there, you know? And we have to focus on what truly matters. All right. So if you're a person that's struggling with the weight, increase your food intake. That's all you have to do. Increase your food intake. Monitor what you're eating day by day. Structure out how you're eating. Eat one way for a week. Monitor what you're eating day by day, the times that you eat. What food, what drinks are you having throughout the day? See what happens in a week or two. If you see a little bit of increase, or you don't see that much of an increase your food intake a little bit more, or switch certain food substances up and see what works for you as an individual for you to gain weight, because we're all at different places within our life and we all have different health challenges that we may or may not be facing. So you have to do things accordingly to your individual body, but you can gain weight on this path. But it won't be the same type of weight that you gained before, because that weight was unhealthy. The weight that you gain now will be a healthy weight. And if you really want to go there, all you really got to do is grind up some chickpeas and make you some hummus. Make you a little pita bread or some spelt flour or something like that, and dig on in. Your weight will increase. Your weight will increase. This is why I always say, don't worry about the weight, because you can always pack it back on. So don't believe the hype out there with all of the protein, or where do I get my protein from, or I'm going to be sick, or I'm going to die without protein. I haven't had protein in 35 days. This is my 5th extended fast. Why have I not hit the ground yet if I'm missing my protein so much? All we need is our minerals, and everything that the foods that we have according to the lifestyle will provide us with life, and that is truly all we need. All right? So, with that, I hope this segment was very edifying. I want to see if it's anything that I missed. I can always make other points and make this a very, very extended lesson. This has been quite long enough. So with that, if there's any questions, comments, concerns, or anything that anybody has, you can shoot them below. Or if I didn't tackle the topic in a way that you would like me to tackle it in, then I'll do another version. I'll go over some other things or some other concerns in which people may have. But as far as comparing us to the other animals and different things like that, just know we are closely related towards the gorillas, the chimpanzees, and different things like that. Notice our teeth structure is the same. You can look it up, and what they are mainly vegetarian diet type of people. So they're mainly frugivores with a little bit of a herbivore mentality, eating the grass and things like that. And the same with us. We're mainly frugivores with the ability to be herbivores and to eat the leafy greens and things like that as well. But they are harder to digest, and the fruits are much easier to digest. The heavier you go up the food chain, with the foods, the harder they're going to be on the system to digest. And even with the grains and things like that, you can't consume them so heavily either as well, because then you can start to get intestinal issues. Because what we're naturally meant to eat the lighter foods that keep us light, that keep us bouncy, that keep us thin, that keep us in shape, that keep us as healthy as possible. So with that, peace and love, much power and respect to everybody out there. Once again, the Alkaline Journey represent. Peace.